it's Jai452 here, here again with another episode of the Land of Cosplay. And today's guest is the wonderful and very hard to get a hold of Miss
Kovie Kixx.
Hi! So, just so you know, guys, we are still having really bad weather over here in the UK, so if we lose the connection, we will try our best to get it up as quickly as possible and just pick up where we left off. And, well, let's get started. So, hi Kovie! Thank you for coming and joining us here on both iGame Online and the Jai452 YouTube channel. So, my first question for you about all things cosplay is, when did you first get started doing cosplay?
I started cosplaying in 2012, and my friend asked me to go to a convention, and I had never heard of conventions before. So I was up for going, and she said, "Oh, you have to dress up." So I thought, "Oh well, then okay, we'll do that." And I made a Raven costume, and I helped her make her Windrunner from Dota 2 cosplay as well, and then we just went.
Awesome.
It was a lovely beginning of cosplay journey for me.
So when you went into that first Comic-Con, what were your thoughts?
I just loved it. I loved the environment. The people around were so welcoming, and they give you lots of compliments, and it's a really nice community. So I thought, I'm at home.
Was it one of the bigger Comic-Cons, like the MCMs, or was it a small local one that you went to?
No, it was a local one at Newcastle University.
Awesome. Who or what inspired you to cosplay?
To carry on, I've always loved costume making anyways. Every Halloween I would make a costume from scratch, and my family have a history of dressmakers. Mm-hmm. So kind of just thought, oh, I could use this in a different way. And other cosplayers inspired me, because I found out that it was an actual hobby thing that a lot of people were interested in. And I watched a show called Heroes of Cosplay, and I was addicted to it.
Awesome. Does that show, is it still something that you can watch, online, or?
Yeah, I watched it online. I'm not sure if it's on Netflix. You can watch it on YouTube, actually.
Awesome.
Yeah.
We'll need to see if we can get a link for that somewhere.
Yeah.
So, is there any one specific person that inspires you to cosplay?
I would say Yaya Han is an inspiration. She has made a whole career out of cosplay.
Awesome.
She's been cosplaying for over 15 years, I think.
Great.
Yeah.
I actually happen to follow Yaya Han as well, and there's quite a few people who have mentioned her.
Mm-hmm.
So it's awesome that she's inspired you to do so, and you're similar to her in a lot of ways in that sense. So here's where I'm gonna have to split this next question up a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
What has been the most challenging cosplay that you have ever done, both from a making standpoint, like if you're making it, and from an acting standpoint? Because sometimes there is a little bit of acting involved in cosplay.
Yeah, you have to become the character to get into the full cosplay experience. And I would say Jaina Pragma was the hardest cosplay I've had to make physically, because I used Warbler, like a thermoplastic for the first time, making the armor, and it just did not go well. And I just went straight into it. I didn't do any test samples, and even the rimming of the gold skirt, it was so awkward. And I was at London Expo, crying the day before, saying, I'm not gonna go, still stitching. And it was it was hard. But I still turned up. It was half finished, but I got a lot of compliments from it, so it must have been okay.
Yay! So, which one do you think is the most, to date, for all your costumes that you've done and all the events that you've been to, which character has been the hardest for you to do from an acting standpoint? Which one's been the most challenging?
Probably Amy Rose from Sonic the Hedgehog, because she's very hyper and she's happy and energetic. And when I'm at a con, I do get quite hyper, but it's hard to be yeah, and just super active and animated, because I was carrying a giant hammer around, and you just couldn't do that.
I know that feeling. I know that feeling. So, in your opinion, what is the most difficult thing or character to cosplay as? And that's an overall kind of thing. It doesn't need to be just you. Well, it's what you think is the most difficult kind of thing.
For me, it would be to get in a character. Yeah, I've noticed I pick a lot of moody, like quiet characters, so I don't have to like get in fully into character so much. I can just like, yeah, I'm being quiet.
That must have been really easy when you did Raven.
Yeah, so I
Because
just had to
she
look
doesn't really.
moody.
Which, by the way, guys, if you have not seen Covie's Raven, head over to her page and have a look at that particular picture because it is absolutely stunning.
Thank you.
Absolutely stunning. It rivals one other picture of a raven that I've seen, but she was paired with a beast boy, and the two of them together is that's a ship. People make that happen.
But, well, I was considering making Mocha Beast Boy cosplay. I bought the fabrics.
Awesome.
Yeah, and my friend's in the process of making Starfire as well.
Starfire's which Starfire is she going with? Is she going with the TV show one or the comic book one?
The TV show, I think.
Okay, because I was going to say if she's going with the comic book one, she's
like-
going to be cold.
Yeah.
She'll be cold.
Yeah.
Which one are you going for with Mark? Are you going with the comic book or the?
Yeah, I think I'm just going to try and keep them all the same, from the same series or same.
So the TV
area.
version.
Yeah,
Awesome.
I'm hoping to fix my Raven cosplay actually because it was the first cosplay I did, so it's a bit damaged. The things I used to make the belt just didn't work, so that's completely fell apart.
Oh. Believe it or not, Raven's the only one like I can think of off the top of my head because like I followed the TV series and the comic book series kind of like parallel to each other.
Okay.
And costume wise, Raven's other than when Nightwing is there, she's the only one who doesn't seem to differ costume wise from media to media, and I always find that really interesting. So for reference, because like I know a lot of cosplayers when they're making their costumes like to have reference, you could really go with either the show or the comic book and just go,
Yeah.
you know, there are really subtle differences, which is cool. Which leads me to my next question: when you're making a costume, how much reference do you have when it comes to the character? Do you pull in so many images that would make people's heads go, pfft, or
Yeah. Pretty much.
Okay.
I filled my iPad full of photos, references, and then even just fan art as well. That helps so much.
Awesome.
So,
So on the flip side to that, so let's say we've got the costume made, or more specifically, you've got the costume made. The acting side of it, do you do a similar thing? Do you pull as many videos of that character that you're going to do in so that you can see and hear how they talk and how they move, or do you just wing it?
I do watch a lot of if it's a character that's on TV or in a film. I do watch the references over and over again. With Baby Doll, I did that a lot. So I had to mimic the little sway dance she does. When I went into the competition, that was one of my poses. Yeah, so I don't try and copy the voice as much because I feel really silly. My Geordie accent is a bit hard to break out of.
Because quite a few people that I've spoken to when it comes to that, they say that they try to listen to the voice as much as possible, but they add their own spin to it. So it might not be exact.
Yeah.
Which, what are your thoughts on that? Is that something that you would recommend?
I mean, I've never thought about doing that, and I might try it just to see does it work for me and help me get into more of a character, and I could let you know if it works for me.
That's great.
But yeah, that's like extreme getting into character. I have a few cosplay friends that really get into character. A guy called Robbie who cosplays as Loki. He's terrifying when he gets into character.
I happened to watch the video where you're on a 2-day event down in, was it in Newcastle?
Yeah.
Okay.
Newcastle Film and MovieCon.
the very same that our friends Darkly and Whisper Green Top and even Mrs. Whisper Green Top were at. So a big hello to them, because I know that they'll be watching this at one point. So there you go, Whisper. You can pay me that tenner that you owe me now. You know, I've mentioned your name. I've forgotten the question now. When you did your video, you actually interviewed or spoke to the guy that did Loki.
Yeah, I did.
If you guys haven't seen that, go check Kovie's YouTube channel and have a watch at that video. I do believe that he is one of the first people in the calendar that you did this year. So I'm going to show this off for a quick second. There is, guys, the very first month, which is January. Yep, January. Sorry. So here we can see Captain America and then the wonderful Loki at the other end. Did he have the helmet, the horned helmet?
On the day, I don't think he did.
Right, because like I remember a Halloween event that I went to, and there was a Loki there, and he had the big horned helmet thing, and I was like, "Whoa, that must have took you ages to make."
Yeah.
So the next month on the calendar, I think we'll go through the calendar a little bit. And
okay.
We'll push the calendar. The next one I had difficulty with because I didn't know who this character was in February. So I'm going to show it off here, and I'm going to have have people screaming at me saying, "That's this character from this game." So maybe you can tell us which cosplayer this is and who they're cosplaying as.
That's Christy, and she's cosplaying a character from Lollipop Chainsaw, and I think her name's Juliet. Mark's telling me it is.
Okay. So that is actually quite an amazing photograph there. Now it's Christie's signature in the bottom right-hand corner of it, or is that the photographer's signature?
That's the photographer, yeah. Right,
because when the UK people from iGame got these through, we were looking at some of the pictures, and I looked at this one and said, I think that might be the cosplayer's signature in the bottom right. And then when I looked at it closer, I seen the word photographer underneath it.
Yeah.
So
unfortunately, I couldn't get a hold of Christy to sign the calendar.
Well, Christy, if you're watching this, you did an awesome job as this particular character. So well done, you. Next up, now this is another one that I didn't know in March. So who have we got here, and who's he cosplaying as?
That's Ben Leslie, and she is cosplaying as Booker from BioShock.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, this one has to be one of my favourites, because when I originally seen it, I thought, because I didn't know it was from BioShock, I actually thought it was from Final Fantasy 15, the upcoming Final Fantasy game. So I thought it might be a character from that, but BioShock.
Yeah. It was so hard to find a background that would kind of suit the character and kind of try and push that the cosplay, and so people can relate to the background to the character. But I think the button in the top kind of like helps a little bit.
It does look really, really cool, because you could, I dare say that you could use that background, and probably did use that background for a lot of other characters as well. Personally, I thought if it wasn't someone from Final Fantasy 15 or BioShock, could have honestly said to you that this person could have been from Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
So, there we go. And well done to... Who did you say this was?
Ben.
Okay, well done, Ben. You've done amazing. He's probably going to think, who is this person giving me the thumbs up?
He's going to be over the moon, I'm sure of it.
Okay, so the next one, I happened to know what
Switching my calendar to.
I think I happen to know what it's from because I had somebody similarly dressed up like this at one of the events I went to. But just in case I do get it wrong, who have we got under the month of April, and what are they cosplaying as?
Um, the I'm totally lost. Sorry. This is from Monster Hunter, and I can't remember the name of the character.
Do you remember the name of the
Sure.
cosplayer?
No, I can't remember. Then he's just gonna kill me. What's her name? Violet Cosplay? I don't know. She contacted me online,
Awesome.
and I arranged a photo shoot for her.
Awesome.
Geordie, that's her name.
Jordy. Well, Jordy, you have done amazingly, and if you've made that prop, wow.
She did. Yeah, I'm sure she did.
Wow.
My face is all red now because I can't remember anything.
Oh, that's okay. Don't worry about it. Just on the subject of props, but we'll pause for a little second here. Do you make your own props, or do you tend to buy them in, or what do you do when it comes to props?
I've made all my props so far.
Awesome.
Yeah.
When you're doing now, this is something that I've also been asking a lot of cosplayers as I flip the next page of the calendar. When you have like big props like the big scythe there, and you're at a Comic-Con event, do you tend to find them more of a hindrance than a help, or what's like your thoughts when it comes to that kind of thing?
I would definitely say they're a little bit of a hindrance because if you want to buy things and you've got bags, they're not very helpful when you're holding bags and a prop and yeah, in that way they're a hindrance. If you're just going and you think, oh, I'm not going to buy anything, I'm just going to go and show and get some photos, that's great. It's even better if you can build a bag in your prop though, which I'm going to try and do on my next one. But
It's funny that you should say that because the Film and Comic-Con event that I went to, which was formerly known as Collectomania for us, on the 22nd of August, I knew I was going to that and I knew who I was doing. And when I was making the hammer, I thought, wouldn't it be great if I could just store stuff in the head of it? But then I realised it would need to be stronger than it actually was to like hold whatever I was putting into it without it falling out and like smashing everywhere kind of thing.
yeah,
So, good idea, but not a practical one.
no, it'd be great at making little hidden pockets and in them. I seen something really cool, and it was a Primark, and I bought loads of them for £2. A belt with a little bag that was attached to it, and I just went crazy and bought loads because it's so great to try and incorporate them into cosplay.
Awesome. I'm just gonna have to pause the recording just one quick second. And we're back. Okay guys, so we're just going to continue on there from the props, and we're going to talk about the next person in the calendar under the month of May. And I do believe we have Ursula from The Little Mermaid. So who have we got playing Ursula?
This is Kerry, and again, I haven't met her in real life. She messaged the NEUK cosplay page and said she was interested in being part of the calendar, and then I arranged for one of the photographers to go meet her, and they come up with this amazing shoot. They did that on a boat in South Shields, I think.
Wow. I mean, that costume itself looks amazing, and I did happen to have the opportunity to see an Ursula at one of the events I went to this year. And I've actually spoken to another cosplayer who's done Ursula before. Have you ever done an Ursula, or is that something that you're aspiring to do?
I can't say that I've had the urge to do an Ursula cosplay. Or any Disney cosplays, for that matter.
Fair dues. Would you agree with me, though, when people say that the one thing that they would be worried most about when it comes to this costume is the tentacles that Ursula has? Because one of the girl that I interviewed who had done Ursula was saying she was most worried about the tentacles because they tended to drag along the floor and people could possibly trip over them, or if she did have them pinned up, they could end up hitting some small child in the face.
Yeah,
So
I could see that being a problem.
definitely problematic. So would you agree that an Ursula type is somewhat of a mixed bucket when it comes to cosplaying as her? Like you need to
Yeah,
be absolutely certain that this is the kind of way that you want the tentacles to be.
definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you were to do an Ursula cosplay, how long would you spend on the costume?
Oh, I would plan it a good few months. It would probably take 2 months just to get references and work out how I'm gonna make it and what am I gonna do first and what fabrics am I gonna use.
Okay. I'm sure that that would be one hell of a challenge.
Yeah, it would be.
Now, the next one we have under in June, I think I recognise this one. So, bear with me, you can tell me if I'm wrong. Is this the lovely elfin woman from the Hobbit movie?
Yes, yes, it is.
Okay, and so far we've just managed to get all the Lord of the Rings and Hobbit fans screaming at the video saying, "It's this person!" Do you happen to know the name of the character and the cosplayer?
Torel and the cosplayer is Becky. Pronounced Torel right? I don't know. Is it Tor? Yeah, but Becky. Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Becky has done an absolutely amazing job on this one, as did Ursula, so well done, Ursula. I honestly, like, as soon as I looked at this one, I had two thoughts inside my head about who it could be. I was like, it's probably the one from The Hobbit, but it could also be the girl from Brave.
Yeah, that's true.
So
I
that's why
think
I'm
she does cosplay as the character from Brave as well. Yeah.
That's awesome.
The girl.
But I honestly think she's done amazing with this one, and I can't wait for the month of June to roll around so that I can happily look at this picture. It's just a pity that my birthday is not in June, because that would have been awesome. I would have been like, yay! Okay, so the next person we have is... Now this one that you're going to have to tell me about, because I don't know.
I don't know either.
Okay.
I'm so sorry, Mark. So Mark Reed is the cosplayer, and he does awesome cosplays. I don't know which cosplay this is.
Okay. Well, we can
I'm so sorry.
obviously see that he's done an amazing job. When I first looked at it, I thought, could it be a Kingdom Hearts kind of Final Fantasy-esque character? Or is it a Monster Hunter character? Because it does have this kind of weird key-looking sword thing. But I actually really like this shot because of where it's done. So could you maybe tell us a little about the day that happened?
Yeah.
If you were you present during all of these photographs, or?
I wasn't. I think I was only present for 2 of the actual shoots that were there. I just arranged the photographers to go meet the guys. That was at either North Shields or South Shields Beach in Newcastle, and Macaulay Webber did that, and she's an amazing photographer.
Awesome.
So I don't know why they chose to do the beach. I think it was I don't know if it is related to the character, or we're just trying to mix up the backgrounds because we don't like to get the backgrounds too repetitive.
Well, that is actually amazing, and I love how certain characters do have certain backgrounds to them.
Yeah, we
I
try
think
to
it adds more to it.
plan. Yeah, we do try to plan the backgrounds. Just some things are a bit more unrealistic. But you'll find it in November.
Now, August is definitely another one that I'm looking forward to. And I know a lot of people will just look at August and go, oh, of course he's looking forward to August. But your female gender-bending Joker. So can you maybe fill us in on who is donning the ha-ha-has?
Yeah, this is Sarah's cosplay. And Sarah actually makes some really awesome armored cosplays. I've only met her twice in real life. But she's a really nice person. I'm really glad that you took part in this year's, because she couldn't take part in last year's, and she was worried that she wouldn't be able to do it this year either. So happy she did.
Well, Sarah, you have done an amazing job. I love your Joker. Love that Joker. Which is a line in one of the movies. So next up we have, if I can get the calendar to separate. There's no grip in my fingers. Okay, next up we have somebody that I've already interviewed and somebody that we will talk about later on. The one and only Little Rascal. So can you tell us about who she's dressed up as? Because she does actually have this as one of her more common cosplays.
Yes, she's going to kill me, but I don't know who she's cosplaying as.
Okay, you heard it here first, guys.
I'm sorry,
she doesn't know. Okay, so maybe tell us a little bit about the shoot. Were you present for this shoot? Or?
The shoot was taken the same time as Geordie's shoot was taken. I was at work at the time, but I got lots of feedback while I was at work, so constantly being messaged saying, "This is happening now, this is happening now." But yeah, Macaulay did this photo as well, and I'm really pleased with how it turned out.
Have you been told much about the process that Little Rascal goes through when she's making her costumes?
I know she plans. She's more textiles than armor form than I am. So we do have two different processes, I think. But
okay. Can you maybe take us through a little bit of her process there? You mentioned textiles.
Yeah, so Little Rascal uses patterns, whereas I don't. I just wing it. Everyone's going to be like, what? No, she's very neat and accurate, whereas I like making mistakes and going, oh, okay, then that's not working. Just try again.
Okay, so with Little Rascal done, and we'll come back to Little Rascal because there's a few questions that are related to something that she does that I want to ask you about.
Yeah.
Who have we got in October?
Oh. That's Kalila Cosplay, and I did a photo shoot with her today, so hi, Kalila. I have no idea who this cosplay is either. I'm just going to be
this is something
awful here.
This is something that I wanted to ask you. In this image, there's Kalila here.
Yeah.
But is this her again over here?
Yeah, it's been photoshopped to just show two different personalities, because I know she has a split personality, the character.
Ah, the character.
Yeah.
So not the cosplayer.
Does she?
Well, she's done an awesome job on this one, and if she watches this video alongside any of the other people who are featured in this calendar, if Kovie doesn't remember who you're cosplaying as, feel free to tell us in the comments section.
I'm so sorry.
think the comment section's down there somewhere. Is it down there, Kovie? Do you think? Is it?
Yeah. Sorry. I think Mom's trying to tell me who these characters are.
Oh, okay.
What?
You know Garsai from Future Diary.
Is that Julie?
No.
Who? Mark doesn't know who the hell Julie is. but do you want to tell? Do you want to say?
You know Garsai from Future Diary.
Ah, thank you, Mark.
My face is like a beetroot right now.
Well, you can't see it, but I'm starting to get a little bit redder in my face as well. But I've got a light sitting right here that's kind of shining on me, so it makes me look like a ghost. Speaking of ghosts, November has to be one of my other all-time favourites. We have Dante from Dante's Inferno. Now, I have to admit, this is the one picture, guys, that totally make me drop my jaw to the floor. I was seriously looking at this one and going, oh my god. So, Kovie, can you tell us who this is and a little bit about the process they went through making this costume?
Yeah, it's Dante from... Sorry, my computer's just put a pop-up open. Dante's Inferno, and the cosplayer is Mutant Cosplay and Props, and he made all of that himself. It was all made by him, and
that is insane.
Yeah, the photographer, I went to university and college with him, and he's very into digital manipulation, and we thought we'd try some more digital manipulation on the calendar, and it's worked really well, I guess. So everyone seems to be really happy with it.
Don't know whether you guys can see this on the filming process, but there is like an angel with a little bit of fire here where my finger is, and there is also kind of angelic architecture or kind of ancient architecture over here. Is that right, Kovie?
Yeah, I think he's tried to get it so it reflects the game, the surrounding of the game, so you can get that feel through the picture.
Well, having watched the game and watched a playthrough of the game and seeing this, it took me straight back to it. You know, I was like, oh, I want to sit and watch that game now. So you guys did amazing on this one. Really, really well done on that. That is fantastic.
I'm sure they'll be very pleased to hear that.
Speaking of which, we mentioned to the cosplay people who are featured in this calendar, if you want to, you're more than welcome to give me a little shout on the Jai452 channel, although this is going out next year, I'm just remembering. You're more than welcome to be interviewed by me. Just give me a shout and we'll arrange something. Now, the last one in December is, I have to admit, one of the fanciest ones I've seen. It is our very own Kovie Kixx as the wonderful character
Baby doll from Sucker Punch.
So this is the one where I had to play dumb for a moment. I actually had to ask our friend Whisper who it is you're cosplaying as in this one, because I haven't seen the Sucker Punch movie.
Oh really?
No, but
a lot of people I speak to I haven't actually seen it either. So
it's like on my list of things to watch, which is like 100 miles long. But having seen promo pictures for the movie, I have to admit you have nailed this character.
Thank you. This has to be one of my most successful cosplays, I guess.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know whether we can see it there on the thing. Yep, we can. As you guys can see, Kovie has actually signed this picture. So, yay! There is your celebrity status, my dear.
Yay!
So, can you maybe take us through some of the ins and outs of this particular costume?
Well, I made the all from scratch, and it took weeks of looking for the fabric that I wanted, and I didn't want to get any oh yeah, it's the right colour. I needed to get the perfect fabric, the perfect texture. So I went through about 5 or 6 fabric stores overall, and there's not many up in the northeast. But yeah, and then it was just planning on how I was going to do it, because I've never did something so like a jacket before. It was really complicated, and I'm still not happy with it now, and I'd like to redo it. But yeah, it was. I took about 2 months to maybe finish it, but that's with college work, because I was at college at the time and working as well. So
awesome. And the fun thing about this particular one is you have a prop that you can easily put in your bag.
Yeah, that's very true.
So
although I can't get into conventions with it.
Can you not?
No, it's an actual I think it's a BB gun.
Oh, I see.
You can't go in.
So what would you use to substitute this particular real looking gun then, if you were going into a convention?
I have a wooden samurai sword a katana that I made at university. Yeah, so that's quite light. It was made out of plywood, and I just kind of cut it down and wrapped it with leather, and it started engraving because she has detail down the sword, but it took so long, so I just gave up. Just threw it on instead.
Okay, so that was the Northeastern UK Cosplay NE UK 2016 calendar, guys. I do believe Kovie mentioned that there is only 3 of these left.
Yeah.
So if you're looking to get a calendar in early 2016, please, please, please either look on iGameOnline.net or contact Kovie directly at any UK. Is it .com or .co.uk?
It would just be the Facebook page, actually. That would be fine.
Well, make sure to contact either iGame to try and find one or Kovie's NUK page on Facebook, and she will hopefully get you set up with a wonderful calendar for your viewing pleasure. So next, we're actually going to jump back a bit, and we mentioned Little Rascal, whom I'm hoping is watching this particular interview at some point. Can you take us through your kind of run with Little Rascal? Because I know that you guys are cosplay partners. So how did you guys meet, and where did you meet, and such likes?
I met Little Rascal through a photographer, Nicholas Dunn Photography, and I've seen some of his work with her. I think she gave him some costumes for other models to use, and she actually gave me one. I think it was a Suka Langley, I think, for to wear, just to show her costumes. And I modelled, and then I got in touch with her saying, wow, this is amazing work. I'm really impressed. And then we decided to do a collaboration, which was the Umbreon and Espeon Pokemon dresses that we wore. And it just kind of bloomed from there, I guess.
Awesome. Now, Little Rascal is involved in an event called Densetsu, which she did speak about in her interview. If you guys haven't seen that, you can go back and watch it, or if at this point it hasn't been released, you will get the chance to hear about it. Can you tell us a little bit about what Densetsu is and what your role was in it when you were there?
Yeah, it's a convention associated with Japanese culture. It has a lot of Lolita, J-fashion, cosplay, and what I did on the day was I just ran a paper workshop on the day and a little cosplay, any kind of questions that people who were in the cosplay kind of had. I just kind of helped out. I didn't get many questions at the time. I just kind of got involved with the workshop. We made paper lanterns, and it was really good to get to know the people who were coming into the convention and meeting new people. It was really, really good, and the guys seemed to have fun. And it was good to see the Lolita girls as well. They look amazing. I know that Little Rascal is she's thinking about going into Lolita, or she's dabbling in Lolita. Looks amazing though. Looks great.
Maybe you can tell us a little bit about Lolita and what that actually is, because
I actually don't know much about it. It looks pretty, but I think it's it's like a fashion. It is a fashion, but it's like an art form of fashion. I'm gonna say it. That's about it. But I don't want to make any Lolitas angry by saying the wrong thing.
Okay. Okay, so when you've been going to cosplay events, what is the one thing that you're most excited for? And the one thing that either you used to be really, really nervous about, or you're still really kind of nervous about?
Yeah, I love going to conventions because it's like my social day out. People go out on the weekend. Conventions is my weekend, and I love meeting all my friends there, and that I haven't seen for maybe 2 or 3 weeks, and just seeing all the stalls, seeing what's new there, buying lots of plushies, which I have, like my Pokemon plushies. Yeah, just the whole atmosphere, I fell in love with it from the first convention. So
awesome.
Really like that.
So what's one of the things that you find most nerve-wracking about going to these events, or one thing that you used to find most nerve-wracking?
I still get really nervous when I'm going on stage for the masquerade. I went to King Con and entered the competition, and I had the shakes. Even coming off the stage, I had the shakes, and I was like, oh, why am I so nervous? I do this all the time. But yeah, it is quite intimidating. I try to push myself to make sure I do these things, but it's like just that push and that adrenaline rush, I guess. It's good, but it's also like, what am I doing?
You mentioned entering into the masquerades. Now, in case anybody who's not familiar with the lingo, the masquerade is basically a competition in and of itself. When you've been entered into these masquerades, have you ever won anything at them? And if so, what was running through your head when they called your name?
Okay. I've placed in a few. The first one I placed one was for my Raven cosplay, and I came runner up. And I got a little gift bag, and I was like, "Wow, I'm actually good at this. This is cool." And the second one was my baby doll cosplay, and I won an Oculus Rift, which was pretty cool. I can't get it hooked up onto my Mac, so I'm waiting until I get my actual not a laptops to use it on. So that's might take a while. And that was my second cosplay I made, and then I come first place as Amy Rose at NERG, which is Northeast Retro Gaming, and I've come third. I think it's SunnyCon, but that wasn't the big competition. They had like a mini competition. It's just because you have to submit so much for the SunnyCon masquerade. It was intense, so I wasn't going to go in at all. But then I got persuaded to go into the little one, and I come third.
Awesome. So, what tends to like run through your head when you were called up? You know, each time you'd won something.
Like overwhelmed with happiness. Like, oh my god, okay.
Okay.
Just generally, I'm proud because I put a lot of work in. I know every cosplayer puts a lot of work into their costumes, but it's nice to see that it actually gets recognised.
Awesome. When you've been going to these events, have you noticed a lot of variation in age groups from people who cosplay?
Yes, I've spoken to little teeny public cosplayers who are 13, 14, and they don't look it. They really don't. Because I go around and take photos as I'm at conventions, and it's really nice to talk to them, and normally it's the first convention, so I say just everyone is so welcoming here, don't feel intimidated at all. And then you could get like families with their little babies dressed as baby Superman, and it's beautiful to see a whole age range. It's great.
In one of the interviews that I did yesterday, they mentioned just exactly that. And I then proceeded to mention about a family that I've seen over in America who were cosplaying as Darth Vader. The little boy was Luke Skywalker, the little girl was Princess Leia, and then their mother, so I can't think of the character's name off the top of my head. So we've got the Star Wars people shouting at me, it's this character. But seeing that as a family unit was pretty amazing, and they had this tiny little baby who could only have been about maybe a month or something, dressed as Yoda.
Oh.
And I just thought that is awesome, you know.
Yeah. At Newcastle Film and Comic-Con, there was a mum that was dressed as Misty, and her child was dressed as Psyduck.
Yeah, we've seen that. We've seen the pictures for that.
Yeah.
That was
lovely.
amazing. That was amazing. So have you noticed that there's a lot more young children cosplaying nowadays?
Yeah, and it's really good. It's nice to say that, and it's probably through families that's happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you've been cosplaying, have you done any cosplays that are specifically aimed at the younger age groups, or do you just tend to go, right, I'm going to cosplay as this character because I like them?
Yeah, definitely the last one.
Okay.
I don't think it's not to dress up for other people. I think I do it for me and the characters that I love. So
okay. When you've been in costume, has and you've been kind of like wandering around, maybe say en route to a location that you're going to either do a photo shoot or to go to an event. Obviously, people will see you if you're walking about the streets. So, what would you say has been your most recognisable costume to the public eye? Like, which is the one where every little child within so many far radius points at you and goes, "Mom, look, it's so and so."
I wouldn't say that they wouldn't recognise my character, but as Amy Rose, I did a photo shoot in in a local park, and all the kids were just following us around and going, "What's this? What's happening here? Look at her with a pink mohican." Yeah,
Awesome.
it was quite nice. Yeah.
Great. So in your opinion, what is the best thing and the worst thing that any cosplayer can do when they're getting ready to go to a cosplay event?
I would definitely. I've just had this drama the other day. I put my makeup on and then I put my contacts in.
Not a good
Put
idea.
your contacts in first. I had to do my makeup all again. It took me about it set me back about 30 minutes to do. I don't think I was a bit late. Well, I was a bit late for the convention, which was my bad. Something that you should do. I don't know. Enjoy it. Don't get so stressed out. I get stressed out all the time before a convention. A lot of times I was like, I'm not going. It's not ready. It's not finished. But just chill. I think as a someone who's created something, you're always going to understand and know where the flaws are in your costume. So I think it's going to affect you more, whereas people see it and it could be half finished, which has happened to me before with the Gina Proudmore cosplay, and people think it's amazing, and I'm like, well, it's only half finished. It's not perfect or anything, but they think it is. So that's good. You should just chill.
Awesome. So now I'm going to do a little bit of a different question. Can you give us the top 5 funny things that have ever happened to you at a convention?
Hmm.
And if not, if you can't think of 5, then we'll say the top 3.
Off the top of my head, I can't think of anything right now. I had a very strange person approach me and ask for a hug once. That was a bit awkward. That has to be a bit of a memorable, but it was funny when I think about it afterwards.
What costume were you in when that happened?
Well, he asked for an embrace.
Oh.
And he was just like, so and then we got a photo, and at the time I was just like, okay, this was strange, because he spoke in a very posh Victorian accent, and either was in very, very deep in character, or he just really liked to speak like that, I guess. But I was just like,
So what cosplay were you in when that happened? Do you remember?
Baby doll.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was certainly a strange one. Is there any other instances that have happened like that?
It wasn't at a convention, but a photo shoot while I was cosplaying as a baby doll. I was on the top of a castle keep at the very top, and there were also some sailors up there too. And they were like, "Ooh, hi," and they thought I was dressed up as a sailor. So they were just like, kind of, "We want photos of you."
There you go.
Maybe baby doll just brings so many funny memories, I guess. Strange memories.
And okay, so what would be your last kind of funny memory while in cosplay?
Probably, I think I did a Harlem Shake once. I took part in a Harlem Shake in cosplay. That might have been, but I think that happens quite a lot now.
Yeah, it's happened. Okay, so before we move on to the last question, can you give us three hints to any cosplay costumes that you're going to be doing in 2016?
Do you want the hints, or should I just tell you?
Whichever one you're most comfortable with. Just give us hints to your number one that you'd be doing. So like the last one that you'd be doing, just hints for that. So tell us 2 and then hint at 1.
Okay, so number 1, it's gonna be a lot of armor. A lot of armor. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to walk in it. And 2, it's gonna be from Cartoon Network. And 3, it's gonna be a collaboration with The Little Rascal.
Okay.
Is that hinty enough?
That's hinting enough at 1. So
1.
What's 2 other cosplays that you're going to do, and you can tell us outright.
Okay.
Oh,
those
right.
were the
Okay, sorry.
So, it's cool. the second one that I said was I'm gonna be Buttercup from Powerpuff Girls,
Awesome.
and that's gonna be with Little Rascal as well. And the other one that's gonna be with Little Rascal is a Pokemon, not an actual Pokemon, but a Pokemon character, like a human.
Oh.
But I'll not tell you what that is. That's a secret.
I
It's
think
not a main character at all.
Okay.
It's just like a background character.
I think I might know who it could be. Because this was getting discussed with me at one point with someone.
Oh, really?
So I think I might know, but I'll ask you after we're done, just to be sure. Okay, so the next thing I want to ask you about is the armored type cosplays. So the people who do all the kind of armors. Like, I was very fortunate enough to interview Alpha Betty.
Yes,
Whom
he's amazing.
I know. I seen. I'm following him on my personal Facebook, as I follow you on my personal Facebook as well. And I seen his pyramid head recently. Have you seen the picture for that? Oh
Yeah.
my god! Just like, oh my gosh. What do you think of those? Both that and the Iron Mans and the Stormtroopers that you would see at any convention. Is that something sorry?
I think it'd be very complicated to make.
Is that something that you would aspire to make?
Yeah, definitely. I've been interested in making some like helmets and things like that, or just out of experimental reasons, not even just to cosplay, and I just want to know how to make them and painting techniques as well, because those kind of costumes, like the metal armor, and it just looks crazy, and you'd have to weather it as well to make it look more realistic. So that's another kind of area that you'd have to research into as well.
Awesome.
But he's really good at weathering, and he looks like Alpha Betty cosplay. He's just amazing.
If anyone hasn't seen Alpha Betty's costumes, you really should go and have a look, because they are stunning. He happened to do something really, really nice for us, which was pull out one of his Skyrim cosplays, which happened to be the elf armor. And oh my gosh, it is so close to the actual thing. It's unbelievable. Just insane.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
I thought I went off then.
Oh, okay.
Am I still working? Yeah.
Yeah, you're still there.
Yeah, I think he wore it for SunnyCon. I'm not too sure, but I've seen it at an actual convention. It just looks so good.
In such a nice guy as well. So nice.
I haven't actually spoke to him face to face. I've just seen him, and I'm just like.
Really, really nice guy. Really nice. Really fortunate in that. Well, I feel very, very, very fortunate, as with everybody that I've interviewed, that I've had the chance to talk to them, because you don't often get to do things like this. Because I don't know whether you have a similar experience as I do, but whenever I go to Comic-Cons, I only get a chance to have a 5 to 10 minute conversation with someone before you're getting taken off to do other things, and then you want to go and have a look at everything, and you try and speak to everyone equally.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't always happen like that.
No, I think everyone's that I'm close to kind of understands that I just wander off. I'm here 1 minute and I'm like, oh, look at that, I went over that, and then I'll never stick to one spot.
My cosplay is partner the right thing, the right expression. My cosplay partner in crime, he was supposed to be taking care of me one day, because because of my dyslexia, time and such, so I don't really get a great grasp on. But he was kind of taking care of me for the day, and he was like, I have to keep an eye on you, where you are. I wander off without telling people. So this is a tip for anybody who goes to anything with me. Have some sort of location thing on me, so that you know where I am, something that you can just pull out your phone and look at and go, oh, he's over there, no problem. Or better yet, tie a big piece of rope around my arm and just carry it with you, because guaranteed I will walk off. So I understand when you're saying, "Oh, look at that," because I
Yeah.
do that. I do that a lot myself, and it's hard not to. It's really,
No,
really hard not to.
I get distracted so easily. I'm just like, ooh, I need to know what's over there.
Um, so the last question I have for you is, um, lastly, basically, what advice would you give anyone what advice would you give someone who is looking to cosplay but is like really unsure where to get started?
I would say do a character that is very that you can relate to, that you have a strong I don't know how to say it, that you really love, anyways. And something that's simple as well, because I started with Raven, which was like super simple leotard and a cape. It was so really, and then I had a body paint, I guess, but simple things like that you can just try out and you can get the feel whether you enjoy it or not, and then you can progress. I wouldn't recommend starting like with crazy armor. I mean, you could do if you're really up for the challenge, but I would say start small.
So there you have it, guys. So now's the point in time when I hand over to Covey, and my actual final question is there any place that our viewers can get a hold of you if they have any follow-up questions?
Yeah, it would be on my Facebook page, which is Kovie Kixx Cosplays. I also on my YouTube channel, quite look at that quite regularly. I think that's about it.
And also on iGame Online.
iGame, yes.
Because she doesn't get away that easy. Both Covey and Little Rascal are part of iGameOnline.net, so you can reach either of them there. And we just got a little pop-up there from Steam. We managed to get through an entire hour and 1 minute without any pop-up from Steam on my end. But thank you, Steam, for letting us know somebody was playing a game. So I'd like to now take the time to say thank you very much so to Covey for taking the time out and coming and speaking to us about stuff about cosplay. So when will we be seeing you next? What event are you off to next?
The next convention that I'll be at will be London in May. I think.
Awesome.
London MCM Expo, I think.
Wow. So we'll be seeing...
there might be one in March as well. I think it's the Newcastle Film Con in March.
Right, so we'll be seeing you relatively soon in 2016.
Yeah, let's hope so.
Awesome.
Well, me and Mark might be in the process of moving by then, so it's going to be quite difficult to make new cosplays at the time. So, but hopefully I'll be able to use my old ones. I just can't compete, which is what I like to do.
Awesome. So thank you very much, Covey, and we'll see you guys again at some point, maybe in the future. This is the strange week of Jai when I do a lot of recording. So we'll see you all later, guys.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.